they're going to sweep this 6 times to make sure there's nothing that could be used for contraband or weapons before the detainees come in.
See what I mean? It's an amazing job. You've all done a great job. Proud of it.
Mr. President, Mr. Governor, what's your message to Governor Gavin Newsom inside of this facility?
Well, the first thing you should do is come here and learn something, because they don't do this. They don't know. They wouldn't know where to begin, and if they did it would cost them 100 times more. So I would say he should call the governor and Christie, and I'm sure you'd give him because his state is a disaster, and he doesn't do this.
Well, they have the original Alcatraz, so you guys could approve him being able to set one of these up over there. I'm sure the secretary would be happy to do that and provide. My sense is he's probably not going to bite on that, but I don't know that they'd be able to come in at cost because they tried to do this high-speed rail. They spent like 150 billion, no tracks. We've got a privately funded rail in Florida from Miami to Orlando. It costs the taxpayers $0, and it's very successful. So it's just a much different approach between states.
We're not going to let him get anywhere near Alcatraz. It'll cost 100 times more than they thought. Now, he ought to come here and study this because he could learn a lot. Yes?
Tomorrow.
Hopefully tomorrow, within the next 24
hours. They have the
hours.
doctors, they have all the professionals.
There's going to be a security sweep because there have been civilians here, so they will sweep this multiple times and make sure there's nothing can be used as weapons or any contraband. And then once that's cleared, then they'll do. So it's really up to Secretary. I know's got people in the queue, and so they'll be ready to receive.
I think our viewers at home should know that this is air-conditioned facility.
Yes,
so
it is.
if any of the news planes are keeping it out in the pocket in South Florida, that is
Air conditioning feels good in here, to be honest. Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here.
What's your expectation of what this will do for the speed and
well, a lot of things, and they're both telling me that these people come in here, they want to go home. And they want to go home, so we immediately send them home, where it's appropriate. Now, if somebody's a real killer, we don't send them anywhere. We put them in maximum security. Look, what we inherited from this guy, this incompetent man, and his administration, which wasn't incompetent, it was radical left, lunatic, communist, whatever you want to say. I know most of them. What we inherited should never, ever be forgotten. What they've made us do. This is all because of an open border policy where 25 million people flowed in. From all over the world, from prisons, from all over the world they flowed in. For no reason whatsoever. We had, when I left, we had a very powerful border. We had no problem. He opened it up. Day one, he just opened the border. People couldn't believe it. They were standing there. What are they doing? They said, go in. That's it. You look at the first day tapes. They opened it up and they said, go in. And that's where all of this began. But this is an amazing thing that they've done here. Really
Listen, people don't have to come here. If they self-deport and go home, they can come back legally. We will let them come back legally.
And there is a lot of self-deportation.
Yes, but if you wait and we bring you to this facility, you don't ever get to come back to America. You don't get the chance to come back and be an American again and work here. So
they weren't with us when the President and the Secretary Kevin and I, we went through the intake. So right when you do the intake, they have the information about voluntary departure. They have the ability. Obviously, you guys are funding that because it's a lot cheaper to do it that way. So even if they get brought to the front doorstep here, they still have an opportunity to just go back voluntarily, and then this way they're not.
We can put them on a plane that day and take them home. We'll buy their plane ticket, go home, and then they get the chance to come back legally. If they wait,
if they do that, they can come back legally after a period.
Yeah.
service center. Somehow a program of people leaving and sponsorship coming back. Can you just go into detail about that and why you refuse on the hard one?
We want to take care of our farmers and hotel workers and various other people, and we're working on it right now, and Ron's going to be involved, and you're involved already. So we have a lot of cases where ICE will go into a farm, and these guys working there for 10, 15 years, no problem. The farmers, we're going to put, it's called farmer responsibility or owner responsibility, where they're going to be largely responsible for these people. And they know these people. They've worked on the farms for 15 years, and all of a sudden, so I have a great, Ron does, Christy does, we have a great feeling for the farmer and for others in the same position. And we're going to give them responsibility for people. And we're going to have a system of signing them up so they don't have to go. They can be here legally. They can pay taxes and everything else. They're not getting citizenship, but they get other things. And the farmers need them to do the work. Without those people, you're not going to be able to run your farm. I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
yet you stand here now as Province on the 7th. How would you describe the relationship and what future does
I would say it's a 10. I think it's a 10. Maybe 9-9, because there might be a couple of little wounds. So maybe it's 9. I think we have a 10. We get along great.
Well, the thing about it is, I endorsed him immediately in January 2024. I raised one of his PACs millions and millions of dollars. And obviously, we saved him a lot of money in Florida because Florida was a deep red state. He didn't even have to do a rally in Florida, whereas 2016 and 20, this was like ground zero. And so we've been, really happy to do that. And then we've worked very well on this and other issues with Florida. You can call him at any time, and he wants to be helpful for governors. I mean, I can tell you that. We did Hurricane Helene last year. You didn't hear from the president at the time then. But with President Trump, we know immediately. You just make the phone call.
Very full, very full. But he wants it too. I will say. He's coming here next week. He wants to end it too. We had a tremendous success with Iran. They weren't happy. Somebody said, "When are you going to sign?" I said, "Sign? They are so bombed out." Did you see the report issued this morning? The place was decimated. It'll be years before anybody even gets down there. So that's not a priority, but we'll have a report and we'll have whatever we want. We'll get whatever we want from Iran. And I think, and I hope they want to have a good country. They have massive sanctions right now, biting sanctions. It's going to be very hard for them to do anything with those sanctions. And I look forward to maybe there'll be a time when we get along with them and they can rebuild their country. Well, he wants to. I can tell you, he wants to, and I think we'll have a deal next week. That's what I think.
President, did you intend to announce your pick for successor to Jay Powell earlier than say, or as early say this summer or fall?
Will I do something about who it's going to be?
Yes.
I don't know. Hey, he'd be a good candidate. You might do that. She'd be a good candidate too. Anybody would be better than Jay Powell. No, he's causing us a fortune because he keeps the rate way up. I think it's Trump derangements and no precedent, but we have a very strong country. We're the strongest country. Look, our country right now is at a level that we haven't seen for 40, 50 years. What we're doing now is nobody's seen anything like it. I told you, I was in the Middle East. The King of Saudi Arabia said to me very strongly, he said, "You know what? A year ago you had a dead country. Now you have the hottest country in the world." We do. We have the hottest country in the world. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll be seeing it over the next couple of years. Also, those type of industries.
Will Kilmore or Roberto Garcia be the first inmate here?